Great to be back on your screens again, and this is Leadership Embassy, where we groom legendary leaders. Fortunately, this is not unfortunately, fortunately is the last episode of season 1. Okay, so when anything goes up, it has to come down. When something starts, it has to recede a bit. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. After this episode, I will go for a little rest to further do research for season 2. Okay, however, Leadership Embassy will not have a break. Leadership Embassy will bring you Leadership Embassy Extra, where exciting, educative, and empowering, enlightening contents will really be broadcast on your screen. Okay, once again, my name is Dr. Kukubaini. If it's the first time you've tuned in, then you've come to the right place, because we are about to share leadership nuggets with you that will change the paradigm of your leadership. Call friends and families, loved ones, pick up your phone, book and pen, smart tabs, and make sure you record. Write down what resonates with you so that you can repeat it over and over till you become it. Hey, this is Leadership Embassy. I'm going for a short break. When I come back, business continues. Stay tuned.
The faculties of Doxa Open University are offering the following programs in Professional Diploma, Advanced Diploma, Accelerated Degree, and Undergraduate programs. Programs on offer: Sports Media Practice, TV and Radio Presenting, Journalism and Communication Studies, Digital Music Making, PA System and Sound Engineering, Musical Instrument and Vocal Studies, Gaming Development, and IT Software and Hardware. Enroll now for free laptop or tablets. For more information, contact 0202-500-500, 0202-500-500. Doxa Open University, perfecting tomorrow's media today.
Welcome back. Listen to me carefully. A servant and a slave, which one do you prefer? Let me repeat that question again. A servant and a slave, which one do you prefer? Therefore, take this principle nuggets from me. You ready? Write it down if you can, or record it. Listen, a servant works with unprecedented passion. I repeat it again. A servant works with unprecedented passion. A slave works with unmerited pressure. I repeat that again. I take my time. A servant works with unprecedented passion, and a slave works with unmerited pressure. Which one do you prefer? A servant or a slave? Do you know you can enslave yourself if you don't do things right, and they compile and become a pressure against the way you work? All right, so you can enslave yourself if you cause your workflow not to bring you merit. If you can enslave yourself to your work if you do not organize the structures of your work. There will end up being a taskmaster on you. As a leader, do you clear your table when you're supposed to clear your table? Do you empty your briefcase and put in new files when it's deemed fit? I say this again. A servant works with unprecedented passion. A slave works with unmerited pressure. Do not be a slave. Become a servant. For those who serve attain the highest mark. My name is Dr. Kukubine, and this is Leadership Embassy, where we groom legendary leaders. I said it before the break that this is our last episode, episode 10, of the first season. But Leadership Embassy has come to stay, and we're about to give you some stuff that will change the paradigm of your leadership. Before I dive deep into what I have for you today, as usual, quotes. Okay, the first one reads, leaders leverage on learning curves. Leaders leverage on learning curves. For you to understand this quote, or what my thoughts were when I was putting it together, you need to understand learning curve. A learning curve is a compilation of lessons in a branded path. Now, I'll repeat that again. A learning curve is a compilation of lessons in a path that you have already covered. Okay, so for example, if a car is driving and a car is supposed to go on a bend, the car driver needs to put up certain lessons how you take a bend. All right, is the car going to take the bend with what kind of speed? Depending on the sharpness of the bend, the car needs to put up the lesson. The driver needs to put up the lesson he or she has learned to then take the bend. Okay, so this is very simple to understand in the sense that if you are a leader, you learn from the principles that you use to bend for situations. Follow me carefully. You learn from the lessons that bent you. You learn from things that pushed you. You learn from things that squeezed you. You learn from things that put pressure on you. You learn from things that change you from your comfort zone to a situation where you were not satisfied. You learn from them. You don't complain. You don't talk ill, but you learn from them. So it brings me back to what I always say, that champions change challenges. So when a challenge comes to you, you change it. You don't complain. You learn from lessons. You understand? Good. So leaders really need to understand that you have to leverage on your learning curves. You leverage on the things you learn. That is what you use to lead. The second one reads, a leading leader leads legitimately. A leading leader leads legitimately. For you to lead your lead, you have to do it legitimately. You cannot do it anyhow. All right, you need to be in the leading position. How many of you know that you could be at the back of a line, but you are still in the leading position? You understand? Good. So we assume leading position not with a physical act, but we assume leading position with a capacity, with a mental capacity, with an ability, with something that masses can lean on. It's a capacity. We assume that leadership position. So you can lead from anywhere. Leading does not mean that you're in front. Okay? You can lead from anywhere. So a leading leader leads legitimately. It simply means that when you do things on point, when you do things through your Gantt chart and you follow them and make sure that you really commit and get addicted to the things you've laid down, do it to the point. Be legitimate with the way you do things. Wherever you are, you will see that you're leading. The acumen is that you should lead legitimately. Number 3, leaders' legacies have no latencies. Leaders' legacies have no latencies. You know, in transmission, if there is a latency, it means there is a delay or there is a gap of a frequent action of something. Frequency simply means a frequent action of that which you're looking for. So if there is a latency in there, it simply means there is a gap, there is a break. It did not flow seamlessly as it is expected to. Okay, so the quote says, leaders' legacies have no latencies. It simply means that if you open the pages of a leader's legacy, if you begin to talk about a legacy a leader has left for his or her followers, all right, that legacy has no latencies. It does not have gray areas. It does not have things that we can say, oh, what is this? Or what does this mean? The leader's legacy is wholesome, all right? It's compact, it's there. Everything is clear in a legacy. You need to understand that. So leaders' legacies have no latencies. They don't have gaps. They don't have gray areas. They don't have areas we cannot understand. I always say that if you are a leader and you say something and then you have to come back to explain it, you didn't do justice to what you said. If you leave a legacy, it ought to be clear. And when people are following it, they say, wow, this is a legacy, well thought of, well designed, well architected, and well constructed. So a leader's legacy should have no latency. I hope you understand that. Apply that to your life. If you are pursuing something in life, ladies and gentlemen, those of you listening to me, you cannot pursue 2 months and leave it. And procrastinate and say, I will come back the 3rd month and continue. You don't work like that. This is how you work. You plan the duration of your pursuit. And then you plan even the breaks in the pursuit. Like what I'm sharing with you, Leadership Embassy, we said 10 episodes is season 1. And we have followed it and even given you extra. All right. So this is an achievement. I started and I made it. And I'm encouraging you that you can do it. So I'm going to do further research to come and start the 2nd episode. The challenge is when you say something, do you follow it to the end as a leader? Or when you are caught, you begin to find ways to get yourself out of it. Do you follow it to the end? When you live and you can't do things that you've set off to do, or you can't complete things that you've set off to do, check the way you plan your activities. Okay? That will help you. Leaders' legacies have no latencies. A successful life has no gap. I'm glad you've got it. Let's go into what I have for you today. Today, we're still dealing with the topic leaders' execution. And I think this is the last episode topic of leaders' execution. So we'll end it up with episode 10. And then when we come back, we start with leaders' boundaries. But leaders' execution. And the episode topic for today is extensive execution. The main topic is leaders' execution. And we dealt with 4 execution structures of leaders. I believe you remember that. So I'm dealing with the last one, extensive execution. Extensive execution. Okay? Write it down. Now, you remember I said that leaders extend to expand last week. You remember that? So a little recap so you can follow. Leaders extend to expand. And the knowledge we got from that is if you make a leap forward, you have to make sure that you have gone forward and there is capacity for those who are following you to also come forward with you. If you go forward alone, you're a selfish leader. You remember that? So leaders extend to expand. So you move forward to make room for others to pursue their following lead. So let's listen to this. Extensive execution. When we say extensive execution, we are talking about capacity outreach. Listen carefully, I'm taking my time. When we say extensive execution, how do I execute extensively? It simply means that how do I extend the capacity I have, all right, to fulfill a plan of action? How do I deploy the capacity I have to complete a task? But here is the right way to put it to understand. How do I extend my capacity to complete a task beyond expectation? I repeat that again. They expect me to paint one room. How do I implement a capacity that could even take me to paint 2 rooms? I hope you are understanding me. All right. So extensive execution simply means capacity outreach to bring more than what is expected. Now, if you are a leader and you are executing a task, your followers are looking at you. If you execute the task just before and after is just what was asked of you, you're just a functional leader. If you execute a task and at the end of the task they see that there is more they could do, you are an effective leader. I tell you, every social media platform brain has 10 years software, firmware, applications already lying down waiting for you to catch up. Listen to me, that's an effective leadership. Your tomorrow has already been positioned there, and they fashion your mind to get into their world of tomorrow. So today you have an iPhone 10 or name it, but iPhone 12 is waiting for you because a leader has done an extensive execution. You understand what I'm saying to you? If you lead people and you just bring them to a place where you have thought to, you're in trouble. Your mind should be generations ahead of your followers. I repeat that again. Your mind should be generations ahead of your followers. That is what strikes the chord of excitement of your followers. We're going somewhere. Every day there is something new. Creativity and innovation of the Creator is what moves us, is the driving force of our living on the earth. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Does it not blow your mind that you see that a low-hanging fruit started from a seed that was put on the ground, and that seed that was put on the ground went through different activities before it became a low-hanging fruit for you to enjoy? Extend your lead. Extend your lead by making sure your capacity is ahead of what is expected or the task that we are executing in the present. I told you, I don't know if I've said it on television before, I visited a church in the United Kingdom, Hillsong, and when I visited them, they started a church, and the first thing they put on the screen was, 10 years plan of the church. I went, wow. And then they have started the hall they are using. I think they've done about, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years in that hall. That means that from year 1, they projected 10 years activity of the church. That's effective leadership. And then, so these guys have been able to extend their execution from where they are in life. Young guy listening to me, you're a leader. Young girl listening to me, you're a leader. Father, you're a leader. Mother, you're a leader. Auntie, you're a leader. Cousin, you're a leader. Colleagues, you're a leader. Friends and families, you lead your own paradigm. Think ahead of tomorrow. Think ahead of tomorrow. Couple of practical examples. If you live in your room, have you thought of that one day when it rains and your roof can't hold the water, it will fall down on you? And have you thought of what you could do when that situation happens? Do you have a preventive mind to fight against that? Okay, there's a carpet in your room. Have you thought of that the carpet could still accumulate dust? All right, even though you sweep it, there's a dust that resides under the carpet. And have you thought of that one day this dust will compile and come to a point where it could damage your health? Now, if you've thought of it, okay, then what is the preventive measures that you've put in place? It's called extensive executions. You don't just do things because it came to you. You have plans, strategies that you will capture tomorrow and next tomorrow with it. Do you have one? Buy a book and write them down. Read it over. Read it over. Read it over. Read it over. Extensive execution. It's a capacity outreach. Wait for this next segment because I'm about to demonstrate something to you that will blow your mind. Leadership Embassy, where we groom legendary leaders. All right? Execute extensively. Do not execute functionally. Dr. Kukubaini, your expert in leadership, going for a break. We'll be back after this break to blow your mind with serious demonstrations. Go nowhere, blow the trumpet, and stay tuned. I'll be right back. Screens, and I'm excited because what I'm about to demonstrate will help your leadership from nowhere to somewhere. Okay, now let's flow with this. I told you that extensive execution is capacity outreach or capacity outburst, if you're pleased. You as a leader, you have different degrees of capacity, and I need to expose it to you. You see, as a corporate entity, your capacity is the muzzle that is behind that entity. So as a corporate entity, this is just an example. Your capacity is your capital in internship, your capital investment, your capital power, the muscle you have behind you as an entity is your capacity. As a leader, you have different degrees of capacities. Now, what am I talking about? Because you need different capacities to handle different situations. You need different capacities to handle different conditions and circumstances. So leaders need to know the different degrees of capacity that governs you as a leader. Okay, good. So still on extensive execution, meaning capacity outreach to execute a plan. Remember that before you carry out an action, you need a capacity to be able to carry out an action. You understand? Good. Before you carry out any other of plan, you need some kind of capacity. All right? It could be energy, natural resource, human resource. Put it together. That becomes your capacity to enable you to carry out the plan. Okay. And beyond what is expected of the plan. So that is why I want to focus on the degrees of capacity that you could use who you are. And they spoke well, I mean, very convincing. So when it's my time to speak, I stood up and I said, the capacity of an exposure of image I possess also. So I don't need yours, but if you could offer me something different. What am I talking about? It's because I know the capacity that I possess. My entity knows the capacity of departments that it possesses to bring success to the workflow of that entity. Do you know the capacity you possess as a leader to help you execute your plans? What capacity do you have? What financial capacity do you have? What natural resource capacity do you have? What human resource capacity do you have? Do you know the capacity in the people following you as a leader? All right. What is the capacity residing in John? What is the capacity residing in Mary? What is the capacity residing in Peter? What is the capacity residing in Paul? And what is the capacity residing in Judas? I hope you got the revelation, and it's a wisdom. You should know the capacity of the people following you to be able to know how to execute a plan and take it beyond how it is expected to be. So I'm going to demonstrate it to you for you to understand capacity outreach. I hope you're with me. Tell the next person you are with and say, this man is loaded. Just tell them. Tell them. All right. If you don't have anyone, then make sure you grab someone to sit by yourself and say, this man is loaded. I need to follow this man. I heard that some people will follow me and then they go to their radio shows and start using what I told them on their radio shows. It's a joy. It's a joy. Let's go into some demonstrations for you to understand capacity outreach. How I can use capacity to execute what has been given to me. It's all about capacity. Okay, good. So I have my three loyal demonstrators, or how should I call them? I don't know. They are laughing, okay? In the studio with me. And you could see them on the screen. The first lady, what's her name again? Let me try and remember. Lady Beautiful. Lady Beautiful is in front, and then Gentleman Handsome is in the middle, and then Lady Glamorous is at the end. This was just to put a smile on their face because I could see they're a little bit tense. Please relax. Thank you. Okay, guys, are you watching? All right, good. So follow me. I'm now talking to you from the back. Okay, so the lady at the back, just raise your hands, wave, let them see. Good, okay, now put it back. And the guy in the middle, just wave your hands. All right, cool. And the lady in front, just wave your hands. All right, so for those of you watching, they are no robots. They are real human beings, you understand? Okay, now listen to me carefully. I'm dealing with capacity outreach, an extension of a capacity to execute a job beyond its expectation. So the lady at the back is called the minor capacity. Minor capacity. So these are the degrees of capacity of a leader. You have a minor capacity. You have a medium capacity, and that's the gentleman in the middle. Then you have a major capacity, that's the lady in front of the gentleman. And all these three are moving towards what we call the mega capacity. So as a leader, you have these 4 degrees of capacities. You have minor capacity, you have medium capacity, you have major capacity, and then they all reach out to a mega capacity. All right? Are we on the same level? Okay. So now let's deal with the minor capacity. Okay. Do you understand that? Okay, so now look at how they will move. Action. Action. Okay. Thank you. So now I'm starting. Now you stay like that for me. I'm starting with the minor capacity. Okay. You see that the lady has stretched her hand to the level that she can't stretch anymore. Lesson number 1. You need to understand the reach of the capacity you possess. Do not brag and tell people things you cannot do. We have some charismatic motivational leaders, they talk and they can't even do it. So because she stretched her hand, she could say, this is how far I could get. The capacity she possesses, that arm stretched, tells her that this is the extent of the capacity I have. Are you following me? I believe you are. So follow it very well. Zoom them in. Zoom them in. Bring them to your screen. Yeah, bring them to yeah. Make short. Keep coming. 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 I know what I'm doing. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Stop there. So on my television, her hand is touching the frame of my television. I don't know what the television is here. So now she knows the capacity she possesses. She will reach it to a mark that her hand can touch. There is an old adage that says you cut the coat of size according to your size. So as a leader, do not brag beyond your capacity. Now, when we talk about minor capacity, we are talking about identifying a capacity you have to be able even to do what we call the root work executions. You need to follow me. You really need to follow me. But why am I starting that you shouldn't brag? Because if you really brag more than what you have, you won't be able to execute it properly. Because you are saying that I could build 5-bedroom house whilst you don't have what it takes. So when they give you that project, the country suffers because you exaggerated the file. You exaggerated the document. Are you listening to me? Beyond what you can do. It is important to know the capacity you possess and the reach of that capacity. Very important. It's a huge lesson that you need to learn. Okay, so I'm dealing with minor capacity. Are you here? I've given you a lesson. Put that aside. Now let's go into what minor capacity is. As a leader, your minor capacity does not mean small capacity. No. Your minor capacity simply means the capacity that takes care of root executions, grassroots executions, ground level executions. That is minor capacity. So you have a degree of capacity that takes care of minor things. It takes care of ground level things. That's the first lady. So now the first lady understands its reach, and so we'll be able to use that to take care of groundwork executions. If you put a seed in the ground, have you thought of it? When that seed goes down into the ground, the seed meets challenges of stones, bottles, name them, rubbish, different things in the ground. But that seed is able to execute a plan and still lay its roots to get stability to come up and grow. Okay, so we have ground roots executions, and we use minor capacity to execute ground root executions. I need a lot of time to teach you this. Are you following me? So you need to understand that as a leader, you have what we call the minor capacity for executing basic things. If I don't rush, we will not be able to do it. Okay, good. So action. Now they will turn around. Thank you, and stay in the middle. So quickly, now you can see the middle guy, and this is the median capacity. Stay there for me, it's okay. That's the median capacity, okay. The median capacity is also a degree of capacity that the leader possesses. You have different degree of capacities. So the median capacity is a degree of capacity you possess. And what is that? That capacity is able to execute proceedings of processes. First, you have the capacity to establish root executions. You have. It's a degree of capacity you have as a leader. Second, you have the capacity to execute proceedings. You have. If you tune in into one-on-one intelligence, which they will tell you when we will start, I'll be able to deal with you one-on-one and teach you these things. Okay? So the median capacity deals with proceedings. It's a capacity that a leader you possess, that you put out proceedings that are explicit. Okay? Action. Thank you. Now look at the median capacity and listen to me carefully. They will follow my instruction. So minor capacity detached from median capacity. Thank you. So you will see that her hand is not touching the median capacity. All right. What am I trying to teach you? Now, a leader, your minor capacity should never be detached from your median capacity. They work together. Whilst you understand what it takes to build your root, your foundations, all right, you keep that understanding to execute proceedings. Now, median capacity, listen to this instruction. Fall back. Okay, stop there. Now, if median capacity is falling, if your plan of executions, the proceedings you are using is not working, and then there is no minor capacity, you will fall back completely. Can you see the picture? I can't let the guy fall down because there's no ambulance here, but can you see the picture? Okay, so median capacity, go back to your position. Now, minor capacity, reach out to median capacity. Now, median capacity, fall back. You see, now there is a support. So when the proceedings are not going right, you can go back to the foundation principles. You can go back to your capacity, which you use to set the foundations. All right? It will become a support for you. So they cannot be detached. They work together. I hope you will understand this analogy. All right, so these are degrees of capacity you possess as a leader. The minor capacity does not mean a small capacity. It's basically based on functions and responsibilities, and they are connected together. All right, so median capacity, restore your position. Great. So now you see that the median capacity also reach out to the major capacity. Can you see that? Okay. Now, I want median and minor capacity detached from major capacity. Right. So the major capacity is left alone. A lot of you, this is how your leadership structure is like. Those following you support themselves, but they don't support you. So look at the lady's hand. The lady's hand will weigh her down somewhere in her leadership journey. And there will be nobody to help her hold that hand to keep her reach. I hope you are following me. So your followers begin to support each other. So median capacity, turn around completely. Face minor capacity. Face minor capacity. Thank you. Median capacity, walk back. Walk back. Walk back. Reach out your hand. Touch minor capacity. Minor capacity, reach out your hand. Touch me. Yeah, so let those hands touch. Thank you. All right, so this is what happens. When your followers begin to connect with each other, they turn their back on you. You need to get this content and watch it over and over again. So you think that you have a support, but you are really leaning on someone's back. They turn their back on you. Okay, now, minor capacity and median capacity move one step away from major capacity. I'm talking to the leader. Yes, stop there. Now, when they are connected and they move away from you, we see the detachment again. Now, major capacity, fall back. Fall back. Stop there. We can't let the lady fall. You see, if you are falling as a leader, because they've turned their back on you, they wouldn't even know the day you will fall to even assist the help, because they've turned their back on you. Are you learning something? Okay, go back to your original position. All right. Okay. Now, thank you. Thank you. Now you see that, so because you have different degrees of capacity, you should respect each capacity that you work with as a leader. Those who execute the minor capacity, you should honor them respect. Those who execute the median capacity, you should honor them respect. And so therefore, because you have the major capacity, you should always make sure they reach out to you, because you have the major capacity. Action, turn round now. Turn around, stand in that middle position. Thank you. No, put your hands down. Thank you. You've really helped me through this. Okay? Good. So if you are home, just clap for them, because they've done a good job. They've done a good job. All right. So these are the degrees of capacity you have. When you assume a major capacity role, remember that your median capacity to reach needs to be connected with you always. So is your minor capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, let's use the capacities we have. Let's use the capacities we have as a leader. Let's understand the degrees of capacities we have that makes us a leader. When you do that, when someone comes through your door, you immediately recognize the capacity they possess and how it could benefit your leadership. Extensive execution simply means capacity outreach to accomplish a task. I'm going for a break. I love this. You can't find it nowhere. It's original, authentic, just for you. Stay tuned. I'll be right back after this break. Welcome back. Time will not do justice for me to take you over. I want really to take you over how minor capacity really lays the roots in the foundation to bring stability. Then how median capacity then rest on that stability to execute proceedings. And how major capacity look at the work of minor capacity and median capacity to bring major results through leadership. Dr. Kukubaini is my name. This is Leadership Embassy, where we groom legendary leaders. Understand the capacity you have around you. Understand the human capacity you have, the natural resource capacity you have, the capacity of an opportunity that faces you, and then check whether you have that capacity. If you need help, ask for it. All right? You're not beyond help as a leader. Each one of us can get to where we want to get to if a shoulder goes down for us to step on it and leap forward. Remember, this is Leadership Embassy, grooming legendary leaders. The last episode of our season. Enjoy. Go for episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 10 and learn from it. Take your time, all right? Remember, the ability to retain what I'm teaching you will bring you to a road of success. Let me take a leave of you, but next week, Leadership Embassy Extra continues. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Leadership Embassy, episode 10, and the end of season 1. We trust and know you have really learned a lot of leadership skills on this season of Leadership Embassy. Dr. Kukubaine will go on a short break to further prepare for season 2, but Leadership Embassy will still bring you exciting content that will empower your leadership skills. This is captioned Leadership Embassy Extra. Watch out for Leadership Embassy Extra, same day, same time, next week, 17th June 2020 at 3:30 p.m. GMT. Open Room Intelligence. Open Room Intelligence is designed for those who need assistance in intellectual knowledge to advance. To be part of these 2 programs, register as a member of Leadership Embassy by calling 0594-808-642 for your membership code. LE Fanbase. To be a member of the Leadership Embassy Fanbase, send "Add me" with your name and number to 0594-808-642. LE Content. For Leadership Embassy videos, audio and data content, call 0594-808-642. LE Social. Follow Leadership Embassy on social media at leadershipembassy.org. Kindly share the content. We'll see you next time.